Hello and welcome to an episode of Historically Marked. I am Jason in Washington, D.C., and behind me is the Washington National Cathedral. Now, it just doesn't celebrate like one religion, even though it's part of the Episcopal part, but yes, it's welcome to celebrates all religions for all people. It's basically a national shrine and a national place of worship, and there's so many interesting and cool things to see in there. And so it goes without saying, doesn't matter whether or not you're religious or not. I mean, it's definitely one of those places you guys see when you're in DC. It is not part of the National Mall. It is actually kind of off the beaten path. If you're not driving, you're better off Ubering here, because yeah, it's in not too far from the Cleveland Park neighborhood. All right, well, I'm gonna go inside and take you on a tour. It's mostly gonna be voiceover, so here we go. And yes, this baby is massive. This is just the front part of it, by the way. I mean, you should see the other side of it. And I'm going to see if I can locate that Darth Vader sculpture that is somewhere. But there is also construction going on the sides of the building. But a little trivia about this place. The full name of this place is not just the Washington National Cathedral. It is actually the Cathedral Church of St. Peter and St. Paul in the city and Episcopal Diocese of Washington. Yeah. Or it can also be referred to simply as the National Cathedral. But it is a cathedral of the Episcopal Church. And the structure is basically neo-Gothic design, closely modeled on English Gothic design. George Washington originally did want a place of a national shrine, kind of like Westminster Abbey, like what they do in England, but kind of out of the way, not like anywhere near, you know, what was to be the National Mall, kind of like on the outskirts of kind of like on the outer part of the city. And that's what he got. But plans sort of fell through when he was alive. It wasn't until 1891 that the idea was revived again. And 15 years later, ground was broken for this, and Theodore Roosevelt was present when parts of it were built. And like I said, it took several decades for it to be built. 1990 was when it was finally done. I mean, yeah, there were parts of it that were already done, but they were just adding on. This is the second largest church building in the United States and the third tallest building in DC. And it is the seat of both the presiding bishop of the Episcopal Church and the bishop of the Diocese of Washington. It is estimated that close to 300,000 people visit this annually, and rightfully so. And in 1974, it was listed on the National Register of Historic Places. So yeah. All right, now we're going to go inside. Now, they do have guided tours, and you can do self-guided. Now, I was here 6 years ago, well, 2019 to be exact. I did the guided tour, but this time around, I did the self-guided tour. Either way, I recommend. The guided tour is like $20. Self-guided is $15. Very reasonable, and there's a gift shop in there.
All right, so we are at the main level inside of the cathedral. As you can see, the room is huge, but there is more to see inside of this cathedral, such as historical gems. By the way, I must apologize for the poor camera work, as this was my first time shooting 4K video indoors. You will see the tomb of Woodrow Wilson, the 28th President of the United States. He is the only president buried in Washington, D.C. I plan to cover that in a separate episode. It is very interesting while observing the stained glass windows, as each one seems to represent a different theme. Near the entrance is a bronze statue of Abraham Lincoln, done by artist Walker Hancock.
It's very well addressed.
On the floor in front of the statue are 34 Lincoln pennies, each one representing a state during Lincoln's 1860 presidential election year. Here is one of the newest installments inside the cathedral, and they are called the Now and Forever windows, which were designed by renowned artist Carrie James Marshall, and they were installed in 2023. They depict the ongoing and daily struggle for justice. And now we get to the stage, or the Canterbury pulpit. It is historical for a number of reasons. Several notables have preached there, including Billy Graham and the Dalai Lama. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King preached on what would be his final Sunday sermon there, just 4 days before his assassination. The pulpit was made from stones from Canterbury Cathedral in England. This is a shot from the front, looking into the audience. There are many chapels in the cathedral, and from behind the pulpit. This here is a St. Mary's Chapel. Behind the seats, you will find American history needlepoint kneelers. There are 175 of them that have names of famous Americans. And then we go right into the high altar. The figure of Christ in majesty at the center is carved of Texas limestone. We are now entering the War Memorial Chapel, and that is the Pentagon Cross. It is a memorial cross that is made from Pentagon wreckage after the September 11th attacks. It was presented to the cathedral by military chaplains and serves as a reminder of the devastating attacks from that day. Entering the Children's Chapel now, and the room is literally small. It is basically designed for a 6-year-old child. We are now at the lower level, where there are 4 different chapels. 2 of them I'll show you. This one, the Bethlehem Chapel, is the oldest part of the cathedral, dating back to 1912. It is said that there are Christmas symbols around this room. There are 200 people that have made the cathedral their final resting place, including the wealthy railroad guy, Frederick Henry Prince, and his wife. Here is the Chapel of St. Joseph. This one has more of a Gothic feel. It is also a columbarium. This here is the final resting place of Matthew Wayne Shepard, a murder victim whose death drew attention to America, the issues of gay bashing and homophobia. I know the plaque is very hard to read, especially with the light. On the other end of the room, you'll find the plaque of the burial of activist/social reformer Helen Keller. She is entombed with her teacher and Sullivan. The plaque is also in Braille. The chapel also has a Romanesque style. Here is the only mural inside the cathedral, done by Jan de Rosen. This tells the story of Jesus' entombment following the crucifixion. And now we are going to take the elevator to the top floor.
Alright, let's see what awaits me. Oh, I thought this was outdoors. Either way. And up here we get a really nice view of the city. Now I've been told this is the highest point, but we shall see. I think I'm looking at the northeast part of the city. Let me see if I can find the National Mall, or anything that looks like it. Like the White House and all that. Okay, so there's actually a picture here. So what I'm looking at is Silver Spring, Maryland, and Rock Creek Park, which is on the right. Is that the Eiffel Tower over there? I'm teasing. All right, I'm gonna go to another quadrant. West. All right, so over here I'm looking into west, and this is Virginia. That's the city of Arlington. Oh no, I take that back. And then if you look very far away, you can see the Blue Ridge Mountains. Shoot, and I see at least 2 city skylines. Crazy. I mean, it'd be much better if there was no gate or if it was outdoors, but you know, nothing can be perfect. This is actually nice for what it is. And finally, we're looking south. You can see the Potomac River. That little stick up there, that's Washington Monument. I don't think I can see the White House. But yeah, you can see the planes landing at the Reagan Airport. But yeah, very cool. Oh yeah, and if you look really small enough, I can see the dome, the U.S. Capitol. Yep. Alright, so here is the side. Yes, they're working on repairs and renovations. But up there, I tried to get a closer picture. Hopefully I can identify it. The statue of Darth Vader's head, or more of a bust. And down here are markers that tell all about it, like the Darth Vader and friends, and some of the grotesque ones. But yeah, it was part of a contest, and a little boy named Christopher Rader submitted the Star Wars villain Darth Vader. He is a lot like a demon. He is evil. Here's also like the raccoon on the lookout with his braces. But yeah, it's 200 feet from the ground and just 1 foot tall. Vader is one of around 1,500 carved grotesques protecting the cathedral's exterior walls from the rain. And that contest I was talking about was in 1985. I'll just show you some pictures.